Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new, hi, hello, my name is Samira. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Today's video is a very chilled vibe video. I'm wearing Disney pyjamas. I just wanted to film a video reflecting on my mental health in 2018 and my hopes and goals for my mental health in 2019. So if you're new, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss when I post brand new videos, and I'll jump straight into the video. So 2018 has been cliche, one of the most up and down years of my life to date. It was the year that I got diagnosed with bipolar. It was the year I relapsed with my eating disorder. It was the year that I had to live on my own. It has been just a whirlwind year. I started the year really suffering with my mental health, thinking I didn't know what was wrong with me, to be honest with you. I knew it wasn't quite depression, but I was scared to go to the doctors not because I was scared to find out what I had, just that I felt like I was letting everybody down, and I didn't want to get judged. And it took me leaving my long-term relationship, coming home and just being like really honest with my family to realise that I can't continue as I was, and that I needed to go and see somebody and get some help and figure out what it is or was that was wrong with me, and where to go from there. Obviously I've had full-blown mania this year, and I've had the suicidal thoughts and the self-harming and that side of things as well. This year has taught me that you never know what is around the corner. Every time that I was struggling, there was always a positive, like there was always just like a little bit of hope. I remember sitting here bawling my eyes out, like crying. I'd had my diagnosis of bipolar, but I hadn't started any medication, and I called up my older brother and was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I've been doing this now for 15 years and like I'm just done. I'm tired. Like, I'm out of here. And he was like, just hang on in there, like you're so close, you've just had your diagnosis. And literally the next day my prescription came through to start my antipsychotic, and that was such a turning point for me this year. Just getting the right diagnosis and the right medication has helped so much, because I was on antidepressants beforehand because I was misdiagnosed with depression, and that actually makes bipolar worse, which would explain why I wasn't feeling any better. I was feeling awful. And so yeah, I definitely, if you're struggling, as hard as it is, like I know it's hard admitting there's something wrong and actually sitting down in front of a complete stranger and telling them like what's been going on, how you've been feeling, like it's so daunting, it's so scary, but it's been so worth it for me this year. And I would like highly recommend to anybody struggling just to go and see somebody. And a lot of places don't like putting a label on mental health and don't like giving you a diagnosis, and I do get the reason why, because we're more than just labels. But in my opinion, I just feel like, how can you get better if you don't know what it is that you have? So I really did push for a diagnosis, and I got one. And it has helped, because now I've started the right medication, and I've managed to get my life together a bit. I moved home March this year after moving away to be with my ex-boyfriend, and it was the first time that I'd ever lived alone, and that forced me to kind of enjoy my own company, as crazy as that sounds. Like, before, I never liked being alone. I would jump from relationship to relationship, and I just took about 8 or 9 months of just like focusing on me. I did start a job before I got my diagnosis, and I was just all over the place. So I made a decision to take time out for my mental health, figure out what was kind of going on, try and fix myself a little bit, I suppose, get myself into a better place, a better mindset. which I did, and then I started work again. This year made me realise that mental health, although it's spoken about, is kind of generalised, and people don't know enough about all mental health disorders. But I definitely didn't know much about bipolar before being diagnosed with it. I thought of EastEnders, Stacey Slater, Jean Slater as bipolar, like crazy, running in the streets and whatever else. And I guess like when I've opened up and I've told people, especially people that I've dated, it has put people off. And I was kind of okay with that, because I thought that was kind of a reflection on them, not on me. That actually, if you're not okay with that, then that's completely fine. And I remembered saying to one guy, if I had a physical illness like diabetes or something, I doubt you would have as much of an issue, but because it's something that you can't see, you have an issue with it. And I don't really understand why other people have an issue with it, because we're the ones suffering with it. Like, we're the ones that have to deal with it. It just, I don't know, it made me realise that not enough people are educated, and that's why I started this YouTube channel. Was I wanted to try and educate people so they weren't so scared of people with mental health, and also give them ways to help people, because 1 in 4 people suffer with mental health. So that's potentially going to be you one day if you don't have mental health now, or potentially one of your loved ones, a friend, a work colleague. And I just wanted to open up some conversations, really, and I did that from my first video. I had people ask me questions. I had so much positivity from friends, work colleagues that I previously had, and it was overwhelming. But it did start a lot of conversations, and that's kind of what I wanted to do. Is if you don't know, ask me. If you want to know something about bipolar, if you want to know something about eating disorders, anxiety, I would rather you ask me, and I could give you an answer from somebody who personally suffers with it, than just not ask or assume. So I started this channel, A, to educate people, but B, to let people know that it's okay to talk about your mental health. It's nothing to be embarrassed or ashamed of. But also, like, loads of people knew me and had no idea I had an eating disorder, I had mental health. And it shows that it really can be anybody. So I wanted to just, I don't know, maybe be relatable to people so that they don't feel on their own. And doing my YouTube channel was something that I always wanted to do, and I was told by previous people that they wouldn't support me. What's the point? Who do I think I am? I think I am Samira Armstrong, who's 22, who has bipolar, an eating disorder, anxiety, and OCD, but also somebody that has a lot to offer, because I've got that personal experience. I'm not embarrassed or ashamed of my mental health. If I was, then I wouldn't be so open about it. But I didn't start this channel to be famous or whatever. I wanted to actively make a difference in the mental health community. And also, this YouTube channel made me realise that I didn't just want to sit here and preach about mental health. I wanted to actively go out there and help people. So I became a support worker for people with mental health, and also people with learning difficulties. And that is such a rewarding job, but also, who else understands them better than somebody who's been through it before? Like, I find it easier to de-escalate somebody who's suicidal because I've been there, whereas somebody who's never had mental health would maybe not understand as much, or wouldn't have that personal experience to kind of know what to do in that situation. But also, this channel made me reach out, and the BBC were looking for people to talk about things that affect them, young people 18 to 35, and I'm now going to be working with them in 2019 to share my story on bipolar, to show people that it's nothing to be ashamed of, it's nothing to be embarrassed of, and if you do think there's something wrong, then there's no shame in going out and getting help, and actually it makes you a really strong person to identify something isn't right, to actively go out and seek that help. But also it changes your life. My medication changed my life because it stabilized me. It allowed me to be stable, figure out what I wanted to do with my life, which was I wanted to make a difference in mental health. It's the only thing that I'm passionate about. But also, like, it built my confidence. I've met so many people, or I've interacted with so many people online that have reached out to me, and it's been amazing. So although 2018 has been a really tough year, I relapsed with my eating disorder, it's also been an amazing year. Like, I've discovered myself. I realised that previously I relied on other people for my happiness, and I took time out to figure out who I was, what I wanted to do, and I found a new hobby, which was judo, which is amazing for anybody suffering with mental health. It's amazing for just people in general. Martial arts is, but it really does help with mental health. I got back on track with my eating disorder, and I'm by no means cured. I link an eating disorder, or how to describe it, is kind of like somebody who has like a drug or alcohol problem. So you could be like 2 years sober, but you never really get rid of it. Like, it's always like the devil on your shoulder that kind of sits there. And I think that's an eating disorder. I don't think it ever fully goes away. And especially if you're low, I find that it's easier to slip into bad habits, and I'm sure that's what it's like for addiction. That's kind of how I link it, but I'm on top of that at the moment. I'm back in employment, and I'm trying to help other people with mental health. I have a diagnosis, and I'm on the right medication, and I'm more stable. And so actually I'm leaving 2018 happier and confident in myself. I've stopped relying on other people for my happiness and tried to just find happiness in myself, like inner peace kind of thing. I'm leaving it in a job that I love, and I'm leaving it happier and healthier, and that's all I could ask for. My goals for 2019 is, I don't know if there is, well, I know there's no cure for bipolar, but I think there must be some sort of treatment like out there to help you deal with it. Because okay, I got my diagnosis and I got my medication, but like, what do I do if I feel myself slipping? These are kind of questions that I have. And I have a psychiatric nurse that's coming to the house in January, and they're questions that I'm going to ask her, and if I get answers, then I'll make sure to share it on my videos on my platform. But that's one question that I have that I kind of want to find the answer for in 2019. I want to continue to raise awareness for mental health, so I will be working with the BBC, which is amazing, and I'm so glad that they're willing to share my story and hopefully show people that there's light at the end of the tunnel, to keep on fighting, not to give up, and if you feel like there's something wrong, then please go and seek help. And I want to work on myself more in 2019. So although I'm a lot happier and a lot more confident, I still have insecurities. In 2018, I was insecure about my glasses, so I had laser eye surgery. And in 2019, I am getting a brace fixed because I am insecure about my teeth. These are little changes that I'm making. Because I am insecure about them, I feel a lot more confident, and just being able to see without having glasses is just amazing. Like, waking up and not reaching for your glasses, just being able to see, like, you don't realise how much you take advantage, these things that people don't have. So yeah, I am making little corrections, nothing major. I don't think laser eye surgery is a major surgery. A lot of people have it done, and getting my teeth straightened with a brace I don't think is a big deal either. It's something I'm insecure about, so if I can change it, bless me, then why not? So yeah, that is a physical change that I'm making in 2019. But yeah, so my goals are to continue to be happy, healthy, to keep on top of my mental health, and to further my education in other mental health conditions, just because I don't suffer with it. I think it's important that we know about it, so we can help other people with it. And I think that's everything. So I'm going to close my video out here today. I haven't uploaded in a little while, and that's just because I've taken time out to kind of focus on myself and my mental health. But hopefully I'll get back into posting into like a regular upload pattern again, but I won't promise that, but that is another goal for 2019, to upload more regular. And that is everything. So make sure to comment maybe your goals that you have for 2019, or things that you've learned in 2018 and you've taken away. And yeah, that's kind of everything. I hope everyone has had a lovely Christmas and a lovely New Year. I know Christmas is a really hard time for people as well. So also make sure that if you are struggling, you reach out to your GP, or if they're closed over Christmas and things like that, out of hours, or the Samaritans, you can text and you can call the Samaritans. So if you suffer with anxiety and making the actual call is too much for you, you can text them and they can text with you. If I can find out what that number is, I'm pretty sure I've got it saved in my phone. I'll leave it linked down below. I also want to work with more people who suffer with mental health and maybe collab. So let me know if anybody wants to collab with me. But yeah, that's everything. I'll stop talking now. I've talked for about 16 minutes. So yeah, make sure to like, comment, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.